I watched her from the shadows, a silent observer in the theater of her life. Her name was Emily, and to me, she was the embodiment of everything I desired. It all began innocently enough, but little did I know that my obsession would spiral into a nightmare of my own making. Emily was a writer, a creator of worlds. She'd spend hours at the local cafe, scribbling in her notebook, lost in the beauty of her imagination. I couldn't help but be drawn to her, like a moth to a flame. My fascination with her grew with each passing day. I learned her routines, the way she took her coffee, and the titles of her favorite books. But as my notes filled the pages of my leather-bound journal, a dark truth emerged. I had become a stalker. The realization of what I had become hit me like a punch to the gut. I was not merely an admirer. I was a predator, watching from the shadows, documenting her every move. I had crossed a line. I was tormented by the guilt and self-loathing that gnawed at my soul. Yet, I couldn't stop myself. My obsession was a relentless force, driving me to continue my surveillance of Emily, my unwilling victim. It wasn't until I received a cryptic message that my world unraveled even further. An anonymous email with a single line: "I see you." I scanned my surroundings, convinced that my secret had been discovered. But the message was accompanied by a photo of myself, captured from behind as I watched Emily in the cafe. My heart raced, and a chill crept down my spine. I was no longer the hunter, I was the hunted. It was revealed that someone had been watching me all along, mirroring my actions. I was no longer in control, and my stalker reveled in my fear. It was as if the roles had reversed, and I was the prey in a sick and twisted game. Desperate to uncover the identity of my tormentor, I embarked on a journey that would reveal the true horrors of obsession and manipulation. I was about to confront the darkness within myself and the chilling consequences of my actions. The tormenting messages continued, each one more unsettling than the last. My life was no longer my own. It was a twisted narrative dictated by an unseen puppeteer. My stalker reveled in the psychological torture they inflicted upon me. They taunted me with details of my life, my daily routines, my deepest fears, and my darkest secrets. It was as if they knew every thought that crossed my mind, and I was powerless to stop them. With every message, the darkness that had consumed my life deepened. I couldn't sleep, eat, or think without the constant fear that I was being watched. My obsession with Emily, once a consuming flame, had become a burning inferno of madness. One night, I received a message that would change the course of my life. It was an invitation, a dare to meet my tormentor in person. I was to go to a desolate location, an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. The warehouse was a place of shadows, a realm where nightmares took form. I entered the crumbling structure, my footsteps echoing through the empty space. It was a place where silence reigned, broken only by the soft rustling of rats scurrying in the darkness. As I ventured further into the warehouse, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was Emily. She had been the one watching me, manipulating me like a marionette on strings. The twist was that Emily was not seeking revenge. She was driven by a dark fascination with the art of surveillance and the psychology of obsession. I had become her unwitting pawn in a chilling experiment. She revealed her motive with a sinister smile, explaining how she had turned the tables on me. I was no longer the stalker. I was a victim, ensnared in her web of psychological torment. The realization that Emily had orchestrated this twisted encounter sent a shiver down my spine. I was a pawn in her chilling game, a game that would haunt me for the rest of my days. As I left the warehouse, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The true horror lay not in the supernatural, but in the reflection of my own actions and the consequences of my obsession. My life had become a living nightmare, a relentless cycle of torment and fear. I couldn't escape the grasp of my tormentor, Emily.